They do exist, the moments that change everything. The World Choir Games are full of moments like that. There are so many things you can win. Medals, new friends, profound insights, wonderful memories, and many uplifting experiences. The Mansfield University Choir can tell us a thing or two about these experiences, as these singers have taken part in the World Choir Games several times in recent years. And choirs that keep coming back know why. American choirs can obviously sing the great classical choral repertoire, but their hearts also beat to their very own renowned rhythm. We know and love the United States for their gospel and spiritual traditions, and for jazz and pop.
So I can come before thee.
When do I start?
Cincinnati. One is home.
Yet, many American choirs have kept to themselves for a very long time.
Can right the wrongs, sing together now. No more fighting, no more war.
That changed dramatically when INTERKULTUR brought the World Choir Games to American soil for the first time in 2012. Cincinnati. It was something of a culture shock in the best possible sense.
Well, for many choirs, it's the first time they've really heard another choir from another country. I mean, they've seen the Olympics, of course. They see world news, but then to hear a choir from another culture, for another country, the first thing that hits them is language. There's a change, and sometimes there's a costume change. Of course, there's visually, it looks different. The people look different, and I think everyone's processing that. There's a lot of people up there, but they sound different than us. They are beginning to sing different literature than us. So I think it's an awareness. It's a brand new awakening to a bigger picture of what the choir's situation in the world is.
And sometimes American choirs get to know each other better in very unusual ways. This is the story of Bruce Rogers from California and Jason Max Ferdinand from Alabama, and their two choirs. Jason Max is a professor and choir master at Oakwood University in Huntsville, and Bruce is director of choral activities at the Mount San Antonio College in Walnut. They got back together only recently during the COVID-19 pandemic for a wonderful online project that aims to encourage cooperation. A statement against racism with a text by Martin Luther King. Let freedom ring. The story of the friendship between the two university professors is one of entwined paths.
In the year 2017, I was judging, I was on the adjudicating panel for an international competition in Great Britain. And one of the choirs that was competing there was this group from Alabama, and it was the Aeolians from Oakwood University. And so I'm on the judging panel, and they came up and they performed, and they just wowed everybody. I mean, they were incredible. I fell in love with the group. And as I'm watching them, I'm thinking, this choir reminds me of my choir very much. They charmed everyone and they won the top prize.
And after day one of the competition, I was just walking around, just minding my business. And this guy walks up to me and he says, "Wow, your choir was great on yesterday." And he says, it's so funny because when I look at you guys sing, it reminds me of my choir.
Bruce didn't know at the time that Jason Max had already taken part in this very choir competition in Great Britain as a student 10 years earlier, when he had seen and admired Bruce's choir.
He saw my choir perform in the audience, and he thought to himself,
His choir was so good that in my mind, I said to myself, when I get to university teaching, I want to make my choir sound and look like they looked, because it was very free, had a great sound. So that year, my choir ended up winning that very same competition that Bruce had won 10 years earlier, and we became instantaneous friends.
and we became instant friends.
Bruce is like a big brother and a mentor to me now, and we just love each other's work.
And that's when, in 2018, when we knew that the World Choir Games with INTERKULTUR was going to be in South Africa, we both said, we got to go. Let's do this, and we'll bring both our choirs together.
Even before the competition, we got the two groups together for an evening of just food and drinks to just chill. And, you know, we just made it more about the competition, but just about community and collaboration and getting our music worlds together.
That's typical for the World Choir Games. They bring musical worlds together, and you meet the whole world in one place. You get to know each other and overcome differences. And every singer who takes part ends up knowing that everybody is the same, not different. It's not a coincidence that these games are known as the World Choir Games. That sounds like an invitation. And it's meant to be one.
You can't not connect to the most important part of yourself when you are in presence of so much singing and so much art. And that brings the best of all of us. We connect to our humanity surrounded by people who feel and think and sing like us. So I think it's so important that INTERKULTUR continues doing this thing.
A Chinese youth choir got to experience this profoundly human behavior in a very special way during the World Choir Games in Shaoqing in 2010, when unfortunate circumstances led them to missing their award ceremony. When they arrived in the award hall, everything was already over. The shame and sadness was immeasurable. But the singers of an American youth choir saw what had happened and went out of their way to cheer up and comfort the Chinese choir. Love definitely had a hand in this encounter.
Hey, yeah!